And the first pitch is lined into left field. That's a base hit. Dusty Baker's lineup against Kevin Hart and the Pirates, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. It looks this way. Dickerson just had the hit. Paul Janisch at shortstop. Joey Votto in the third spot. Brandon Phillips hitting cleanup. Scott Rowland is back in. Lance Nix also back in. 10 home runs this season. He's got 25 doubles to lead the club. Johnny Gomes, Ryan Hannigan, and Homer Bailey doing the pitching and batting ninth. Scott Rowland activated after a stint on the disabled list. And Rowland will hit fifth today. Paul Janisch with Chris Dickerson at first base. Shortstop hitting an even 200. Hart throws over there. But Dusty Baker is hoping that Rowland will be a big boost to the lineup. They acquired him just minutes before the July 31st trade deadline came and went. And he came over from Toronto. Got hit by a pitch by Colorado's Jason Marquis. And a couple of days later, went on the DL with post-concussion syndrome. So he's back in the lineup today for Cincinnati. And Kevin Hart, 4-2, coming off a win.
Yeah, one of the things I really like about his stats that I have seen so far is I was a little worried about the walks when he got traded over here. And you see there's 22 of them there, but 13 of those walks came as a Cub in 22 innings. He's only walked 4 hitters, 17 and a third innings as a Bucco. That's very nice. If he's going to progress and get deep into ball games, keep pitch count down, he couldn't be as wild as he showed in his starts there in Chicago. He had to refine his control, and that's kind of stood out to me. Just those 4 walks in his 3 starts. Not bad. And the strikeouts have been able to stay up there. He struck out 13.
Hart, long stretch. Now the pitch to Janisch, but time is called. A little bit late, really, for Kevin Hart's liking.
Well, late for, I think, I think for everybody's liking. I mean, I don't understand why they do that.
Well, Kevin Causey behind the plate. Ed Rapuano, the crew chief, at first. Mike Estabrook, second base. Paul Schreiber back at third. Umpire does not have to give you timeout. Janisch punts it foul. It's a courtesy more than anything. It's not mandated that if a player, a hitter, calls time at the plate, the umpire does not have to grant you timeout.
In fact, it says in the rule book that if the pitcher is ready to pitch, that the umpire is not to grant timeout. And I think being in the stretch position, that's being ready to pitch. I've never understood that.
I know you don't like it much. You never liked it. There's the one thing is you could be in the windup or coming out of the stretch. Either way, getting ready to release the ball, and that's where Hart was. And if time is called, the best thing to do would be to just let the ball go, right? Not try to stop yourself.
Yeah. You don't want to try and stop it.
And 1-2 to Janisch. Dickerson, the runner at first, big lead. There he goes. The throw does not go down to second base. Doman lost the handle on it, and it's a stolen base for Dickerson.
Yeah, it popped out of his glove, had nothing to throw.
Dickerson had a big lead.
Yeah,
Hart didn't go over either.
I'm not sure he was going to have a real good shot at throwing him out either. I don't think he had a play whether he caught this ball or not. It was a breaking pitch. And as he went with the exchange, it came right out of his bare hand. Didn't matter. Dickerson had that one stolen.
11th steal of the season for Chris Dickerson. Count even 2-2 to Janisch. And this one right back to Hart. He'll take the out. There'll be one down.
Yeah, good job by Hart to make sure that he looked to see what the runner was doing. For a moment there, it looked like Dickerson was going to try and move up, and Hart was going to have him hung out to dry. Now Dickerson jumps off and just now starts to come back. Hart looked that way. Saw him going back and got his out at first. So the Reds fail to get the runner to third base.
One out for Joey Votto. Votto hitting .310. He looks at a strike. Votto had 2 hits last night, 2 for 3. 2 for 4, I beg your pardon. His last time, he was robbed by Lasting's Millage. Millage made a great catch in the left center field gap, taking one away from Votto. And the 0-1 is fouled away. 0-2 to Votto.
Dickerson trying to clean the cleats off.
Well, Chris Dickerson trying to climb that list. 2 behind McCutchen. Dexter Fowler, the runaway leader in stolen bases for rookies, with 26. Oh, 2. Ball and 2 strikes. So 1 out, top of the first inning. Pirates would win last night 12-2. Zach Duke getting his 10th victory. Pirates now have 2 pitchers with double-digit victories. Ross Ohlendorf with 11, Duke with 10. That hadn't happened since 2007 when Mahalem had 10 and Gorzelani had 14. Last year Mahalem led all Pirates pitchers with 9 victories. So you can see improvement on that front. And Zach Duke's record too of 10 and 11, Bob, I think is pretty deceiving. There are a few games that he probably should have won.
Yeah, if you just look at his stats, you would think this guy's probably a 14-15 game winner.
Right.
You know, the stat sheet doesn't tell everything, that's for sure.
Here comes the 2-2 to Votto. He got him. Strikeout number 1 for Kevin Hart. Behind Hart in the outfield, left to right, the all-M outfield of Millage, McCutchen, and Moss. Different looking infield today, especially on the left side. Vasquez at third. Bixler gets his first start at shortstop. Ryan Doumit behind the plate catching Kevin Hart. Bixler makes his first start in the big league since May. He started the final game of the New York Mets series in early May. And Ronnie Cedeno out with a fractured bone in his right pinky finger. I think he might be back as soon as Tuesday against Philadelphia. And Phillips lines one to center field. That's a base hit. McCutchen will glove it. Around third is Dickerson. He'll score. And it's 1-0 Cincinnati. RBI single, Brandon Phillips.
2 out RBI. That's too bad. Able to strike out their most dangerous hitter, Votto. You think, maybe I'm going to not give up a run here in this first inning, but Phillips comes up with the 2 out RBI.
Well, Brandon Phillips gets the Reds on the board.
Celebrate everything nowadays.
What inning is it? Top of the first, right?
Doesn't make any difference.
A long way to go, Brandon.
Well, he's just in the mood. It's a celebration weekend.
I guess so, yeah. Here's Scott Rowland, activated off the DL. He got here yesterday.
Maybe he hadn't hit maybe he didn't have an RBI for a month and a half or something. Maybe that's why he was so happy with himself.
Well, he had a double. He scored a run last night. Rowland hitting 143, a home run, 2 runs batted in. Those are just the numbers in the National League. He had much better numbers in the American League with the Blue Jays. There goes Phillips, and the throw down by Doumit doesn't get him. So 2 stolen bases in the inning by Cincinnati, as it appears as though Dusty Baker is going to run some more.
Well, I'll have to get my stopwatch out. I'm not sure what Hart is, but he must be a little slow to the plate because they're definitely taking advantage of it.
That's his 20th steal. So another runner in scoring position. 2 balls and no strikes. The count to Rowland. 2-1. Against Colorado, Jason Marquis got him right in the head. And he came back a couple of days later and continued to play with the Reds, and then suffered from post-concussion syndrome. He was tested on Friday, and the neurologist, I should say, cleared him to come off the disabled list. So he arrived here yesterday. They activated him for today's game. He had 2 rehab starts with Louisville, so he'd been playing a little bit. Roland, longtime Philly, longtime Cardinal, with a 2-ball, 2-strike count. He had .320 in 88 games with the Blue Jays, and went 2 for 14 with the Reds before they put him on the shelf for 2 weeks. 2 outs. Here's the 2-2 pitch, and Roland takes inside 3-2.
Yeah, well, we'll look at that replay again where he got hit. Watch the pitcher, Marquis. Watch his reaction. I mean, obviously extremely upset with the outcome of that fastball. Fired his glove down. Most pitchers, they don't like throwing the ball up there around somebody's head.
No, especially somebody they know well. Those two know each other well. 3-2 pitch. Roland lifts it foul right side. Garrett Jones giving it a look, but that'll be up into the seats. Jones at first base today. Scott Rolen. Jasper, Indiana originally. One run is in. Brandon Phillips, huge lead at second base. 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Foul back again. If Phillips wanted to, and not with 2 outs, would he more than likely do this, but the lead that they're allowing him to get at second base, he could just walk into third.
No, they don't really care about that. In fact, they probably wouldn't even cover third base.
And he's just getting
absolutely
relaxed lead right now.
And there's no reason to do anything about it. You got to play defense in the infield. Vasquez at third probably wouldn't even cover the bag. He would hold on to his position in case there's a ground ball base hit that way.
And Roland walks.
Now things change, because now if you let him go to third base, he'll drag Roland in the scoring position along with him. So now you have to pay attention. But when there's just a lone runner out there, most guys, the third baseman will stay right there. He won't even go to the bag because he's afraid if he runs to the bag, there'll be a weak little base hit into left field and it'll score a run. So it's meaningless. The guy's in scoring position, let him go to third. You don't just say go ahead and walk over there, but you don't do anything to take yourself out of defensive position in order to stop him. The pitcher can vary his looks and all that kind of stuff, but the infielders, they're going to let him go. But as I said, now's a different position, because if he steals third, Roland goes to second. Now you have 2 runners in scoring position. That is worth stopping.
And Hart the inside move. Bixler broke a step toward the bag, but Phillips didn't have to go all the way back. Well, and if they decide to move the runners here, you'd more than likely throw behind Phillips, wouldn't you? Try to get Roland? No,
because Roland can have a 50-foot lead at first.
It's true too. He's going to be not being held on.
There's no way you can throw him. The other day we were playing somebody that made that mistake. They tried to throw out somebody at second, and there's no chance, because I think it was Jones, and McCutcheon was on. You got to throw out McCutcheon. It doesn't matter if he's the fastest man in the world. I don't care if it's Bob Hayes out there. You got to throw to third there. You're not going to throw out Jones at second base.
Strike 2 to Nick.
If it's a sloth, okay, then you try to go for the second guy, because it doesn't matter if he gets a big jump or not. But if the guy has average speed or better, and you're not holding him on, the first baseman's playing out on the grass, how are you ever going to throw him out at second base?
So safe to say you wouldn't describe Scott Rolen as a sloth.
No. He's an athlete. He can run a little bit. If you're not going to hold him on at first base, you're going to play back on the grass. You're never going to stop him from getting a second. So you would have to go for Phillips in this situation. That's my opinion.
I think that's a new name for that type of defense, though, throwing behind the runner in a double steal situation called the sloth defense.
It's the sloth throw. You go for the sloth. If there's a sloth out there, you go for him. If you or I are running at first, they go to second base.
It's all moot now as Nick strikes out. Kevin Hart gives up a run in the top of the first inning. Brian Bixler will hit 8th and play short, and Kevin Hart doing the pitching, batting 9th. So Andrew McCutchen will lead off against Homer Bailey, the 22-year-old from LaGrange, Texas. And the first pitch from Bailey is in there for a called strike. So McCutchen, a 283 hitter, 7 homers, 36 runs batted in, has a couple of hits already in the series. One and one.
There's Homer's numbers, and they're nothing to be proud of. Like 10 home runs, 55 innings, 28 walks in 55 innings. Opponent batting average 288. You think about all those base runners, and then he gives up a home run every 5 innings. Yeah, that's why his ERA is so high.
You wonder what happens. And they still think that he's got so much potential. Again, only 22 years of age, but he was the first-round pick in 2004, the 7th guy selected overall in the first-year player draft 5 years ago. 3 years ago, he was the player of the year in the Reds minor league system. Not just the pitcher of the year, the overall player of the year. And when he gets to the big league level, he suffers. And again, granted, he's young at 22, but still, it's an adjustment to the highest level.
You never know. Just having a great arm isn't a ticket to greatness. There's, a bigger list of guys with great arms that never did anything than there is a list with guys with great arms and were great. There's something that sometimes isn't there, is not missing, or is missing.
A lot of guys can throw it hard, but a lot of guys also don't know where it's going once it leaves the hand.
That's a big part of it.
3-2 to right field, and that's going to be in for a base hit. Leadoff single for Andrew McCutchen.
I like this little thing I came up with. I'm proud of it, so I'll throw it out here right now. Just because you have a toolbox full of tools doesn't mean you're a mechanic. And that's what it comes to a lot of times with these, top dog pitchers that have these great arms that end up not ever, amounting to a whole lot. Now, I'm not saying, as you mentioned, Homer Bailey, just 22 years old. My gosh, he's got a lot of time yet, but that happens.
Delwyn Young with McCutchen at first. Switch hitter batting left-handed against Homer Bailey. He'll take a strike. Well, yeah, hockey has a similar term. When they talk about certain players, they say he's got all the tools but no toolbox. You'll hear that term a lot if you hang around hockey players for any length of time.
No place to put them.
Oh, 1. Nothing in 2. I think the equivalent saying in baseball would be he's got $1 million arm and a 10-cent head. That's the equivalent of having all the tools and no toolbox. Elwin Young looking to make some contact here. McCutchen the lead from first, and he'll stay put, and this one fouled back. Count will stay 0-2. We saw Cincinnati run in the top of the first inning. Dickerson stole second. Also Brandon Phillips stealing second. And McCutchen, nobody in front of him, staying home, and the count 0-2. Now McCutchen takes an extra quarter step. Throw over, and he just gets back. People love to watch this guy run. No 2 is low, 1-2. McCutchen, when he runs, especially when he gets a triple like he did on Friday night, just before he turns second base, he's about full speed.
I think that was the first triple I've seen him really have to work for. He turned a double into a triple on that one. His other triples have all, came fairly easy because he can run so fast. That one, he worked hard for it.
McCutchen will get ready again after diving back safely. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Delwin Young. We're in the bottom of inning number 1, 1-0 Reds. So Bailey now comes set, ready for the 1-2 delivery. They appeal for some reason.
It's kind of surprising.
He never even made a motion, really.
I've always thought that. Always thought it's like I'm making a big deal out of this, but this doesn't seem like McCutchen runs as much as he could be running. Maybe he's not as comfortable as he needs to be, but especially in this situation, Homer Bailey has got a big leg kick. I don't have my watch with me, but just watching him, it doesn't look like he's quick to the plate. Mediocre at best. And we've seen 4 pitches, at least one of those in the dirt. 5 pitches now, and he's just kind of like tied to the bag.
3 balls, 2 strikes. See if they put him in motion here.
This is this is a staying out of the double play deal here now. 3-2 count.
Yeah, but
it's not a
we'll
base
see him run anyway. Here comes the payoff pitch. There goes McCutchen. This ball shot in the left field, a base hit right in front of McCutchen, so he can't advance. Thinks about it as it was misplayed for a moment by Lance Nix. So first and second, and here's Garrett Jones. Jones with 3 runs batted in each of the last 2 games. So Jones starting to hit with runners in scoring position, and now you look at the 3 and 5 hitters, Jones and Ryan Doumit. What they did last night. 6 runs of the 12 driven in between those 2.
Well, Garrett Jones, because he doesn't really have the pedigree of this great big prospect, and he's not real young compared to other first-year players. He's got more to prove, but he is certainly doing that at this point. It's not done yet. He needs to play this well all the way to the end of the season to really stake his claim as I'm for real. I'm going to be a middle of the lineup hitter for you guys next year. And Domet, who basically did that last year,
Jones pops it up back of the plate.
Is trying to get that feel back at the plate to where he is a dangerous hitter before the end of the season. And took a giant stride, I think, the last 2 nights really in that direction. Now, 2 nights ago he hit the ball very well, got nothing for it. Last night started to drop for him. In fact, one of them even dropped in somebody's lap in the outfield bleachers, so that's always good.
0-1. And Jones to center. Picked up by Dickerson. Jones hit that one on the nose. Dickerson there to track it down. Looked like that ball was starting to tail a little bit into that gap. Dickerson got over there in a hurry.
Yeah, looks like he had a real good read off the bat on that ball.
Blasting's Millage now will hit in the 4 spot. Andy LaRoche not playing today, so Millage moving into that spot. He's been pretty good lately as well. He had 2 hits last night. Drove in a run. So the tying run in scoring position. That's Andrew McCutchen at second base. The pitch. And Millage inside, ball 1. Leadoff single by McCutchen, followed by a base hit by Delwyn Young. Jones has lined out to center. Now Millage with a chance to get a run in. Homer Bailey looks back, now comes home. And Millage takes a strike. Blasting says he's more comfortable than ever now hitting here at PNC Park. And judging from the results of the homestand, it seems like a lot of guys are getting comfortable now here in late August. Here is the 1-ball, 1-strike pitch. There goes McCutchen. He takes off for third, and fouling it away is Millage. Boy, did he have a big jump. McCutchen would have been safe easily.
Take a look at that jump. There's that big, huge leg kick I was talking about. And I don't know why he didn't run from first base earlier. If he would have stole second earlier, I mean, we're talking ifs here, but then he scores easy on the Young base hit. His speed is a huge, huge weapon, and you got to use it more, especially when you have a pitcher that's as slow to the plate as Homer Bailey is. You see those big guys with the big leg kick. That's a big sign. Hey, base stealers, go ahead.
Brandon Phillips sharing a word with McCutchen. Well, Bailey delivers now. 1-2. No, it turns. He tries to get McCutchen moving the other way.
He brings that knee up to his chest. McCutchen has run on first move, and he will have taken off.
Last time he took off, he did once Bailey looked back to the plate before he lifted his leg. So now Bailey, aware of that, has to adjust how he does business on the mound. And it's apparent that McCutchen has gotten into the head of Homer Bailey some. 1-0 Reds, bottom of the first. 2 on and 1 out for the Pirates. Lasting's Millage trying to tie up the ball game here. Ground ball towards short. Giannis. He'll go to Phillips for 1, back to first, and Millage is safe. Down to third, McCutchen.
Thought that was a pretty good turn at second base by Phillips. Made it close at first. When it's hit off the bat, it's not hit all that hard. It's a chopper. Not really a double play ball with Millage running. But right there, Brandon does a nice job making it close. He knows he can't get doubled up in that situation. So he turned it on, made sure that he was by the bag. But that ground ball was a chopper. And Giannis had to not only move in, he had to move about 3 or 4 steps to his right. That's why I say that it's not really a double play ball.
Pitch to Domet. Strike called. How about Bob's tips to win, presented by our friends at Rivers Casino?
Well, we've been talking about Domet quite a bit this inning, and hopefully he's got it in him again this afternoon. I think he's going to get into one of those hot spells, and we want the home runs to continue. 9 home runs on this homestand. We're 5-0 on the homestand. Those go together. We played better at home anyway, but when we hit a home run in this ballpark, we're 10 games over 500 at PNC Park. So the home runs are important for us. There's no getting around that.
Inside now, 1-1. Domet last night got a pitch he'd been looking for a while. Came in the 5th inning with Andy LaRoche aboard. Up high into the bleachers in right field. 2-run shot. Home run number 7. All 7 of his home runs have come from the left side of the plate. Homer Bailey ready to go. Here's the 1-1. 2-1 to Domet. Last night he ran into Chuck Tanner in the dugout right before the game. And the manager of the 79 Pirates grabbed him by the elbow and laid into him a little bit. Gave him a little motivational talk. He said it was all positive. And Domet went out and broke out of his slump, went 3 for 5.
Well, if Chuck Tanner said it, I guarantee you it was all positive. Most positive man I've ever met.
But when Chuck Tanner grabs your arm and tells you something, that means something. And Ryan Domet understands that. He understood it last night, took it to heart, went out there and did something about it.
Chuck used to come out to the mound and he'd put his hand on your shoulder and look like he's giving you fatherly advice. And what the fans didn't realize is he was digging his thumb into your shoulder and practically taking you to your knees as he was telling you what is what.
Well, a nice night here last night with 22 members of the 79 Bucks on hand, and a number of them going into the clubhouse and wishing well the young Bucks. Bases now loaded for Brandon Moss. Millage at second, Domet at first, and down at third, McCutchen. So tying run at third, and Moss looking for a hit. Dirt, 1-0. It was nice to see too the way that the players gathered around Chuck Tanner after they had the introduction ceremony, and then when it was time to pose for photographs and Chuck was the last one to get introduced, it seemed like all the players just quickly migrated over to him. There's always that bond there between those players from that 79 team and their manager.
Well, Chuck is one of those guys that one of the managers that his ex-players would run through a wall for him.
1-0, now it's 1-1.
Few of those guys around that that's the respect that they commanded when they managed.
Rick Blyleven, Phil Garner, Silva, Candyman, Mr. Ott, the Hitman, and Sangy and Teague. There is Chuck. Great moment last night here at PNC Park. Bases full of Bucks, bottom of the 1st inning. 2 men are out. Brandon Moss against Homer Bailey. And a strike on the inside corner. Well, Moss has been pressing now that he hasn't had regular at-bats. And when he does get his at-bats, they haven't been as good as he'd like.
His timing was kind of bad. He was in a pretty good slump early in the season when he was being pretty much the everyday player. Was starting to come out of that Well, about the time we were in Arizona, he was starting to get some hits, and but then now he hasn't played every day and going back the other direction.
Bucks leave him loaded in the first. Street, the people of Pittsburgh can say that we come from a city that has nothing but champions. That's today's Geico quote. Willie Stargell, presented by his wife here last night. The impact he had on that ball club, incredible.
Pops.
Johnny Gomes, right fielder, facing Kevin Hart. Top of the second inning, 1-0 Cincinnati. And Kevin Hart's pitch is a strike call. Well, the Bucks had a good opportunity, a leadoff single by McCutchen, and he was left at third base. In fact, back-to-back singles, and the Bucks couldn't find a way to get a man in. Here's the 0-1.
Got to use that speed.
Well, I'm with you, Bob. I'm surprised that McCutchen didn't try to take second base when he was on with nobody out, and that he did try to break for third when he had a number of opportunities to break for second, get into scoring position, try to recreate the inning if he is there. Delwyn Young, who knows how the pitching matchup is approached with Young, but assuming he does the same thing, which is hard to do in baseball, you got a guy at third base already with nobody out.
Well, McCutchen has the green light to run when he wants. They will throw a stop sign up, and for some reason they don't want him running on a particular pitch. You know, I think it's just one of those deals where he'll learn the pitchers, become more comfortable with it. And I'm sure next season you'll see him running it a little bit more than he has now, and using that just tremendous speed. I mean, he's legitimately one of the fastest men in baseball. There's no arguing that.
2-2 is lifted in the air to shallow right center field. And in comes Brandon Moss to make the catch. One down. Well, Willie Stargell gave us our quote today in the Geico quote book, but here's one of the more well-known photos right after Game 7. There's the victory parade. He liked those cowboy hats, didn't he?
Oh, yes, he did.
Double issue, late December of '79.
It was later on. Was it that following? Yeah, I think it was the following Super Bowl there in January. The Steelers beat the Rams, I think, right after that. But I remember watching the Super Bowl coverage, and they were flashing back to the Allegheny Club, the old restaurant that overlooked the field at Three Rivers. And they had Stargell there, and they were always asking him questions and interviewing him during the game. It was kind of neat. Pittsburgh then definitely all around the country was known as the city of champions. I think he had his cowboy hat on then.
1-1 to Hannigan, misses. 2-1. Brian Hannigan out of Andover, Massachusetts, catcher. Hannigan got a little break late in the game last night. Tatum came in to take his last at bat in the 9th inning, but he did have 1 hit in 3 trips. Pirates scoring more runs last night than they had in any other game. Line shot right at Lastings. Millage, who makes the grab. Broke late on the ball, came in and made the catch.
Nice recovery. He wasn't sure when that ball was hit, and these are tough. The line drive right at you. That the toughest play for the outfielder to have to make. You're not sure. Is it going to carry? Is it not? Does it have top spin? Does it have back spin? You don't know. You got to sit there and wait it out, and hope that you got it figured before the ball either gets over your head or falls in front of you, and he was able to do that.
Homer Bailey grounds one to Bixler, and that's the inning. A 1-2-3 inning for Kevin Hart. 1-0 Cincinnati.
Rich mochas and frothy cappuccinos, only at McDonald's. I'm loving it. And by Day Automotive, we're going to make your day.
Time to check out our Day Automotive this day in Pirates baseball history. August 23rd, 1979. Dave Parker 2 for 3, including his 23rd home run. And 2 runs batted in, but the Pirates fall to the Padres 3-2. And the Cobra on hand last night. Tip of the cap right back at you. In fact, in that time, he was considered baseball's best player by some because of the arm strength that he showed and his ability to command right field and what he did offensively.
Had no flaws.
0-1 to Ramon Vasquez, 1-1. I love the story Phil Garner told us on Friday night about Parker showing up to a spring training game. Hadn't been there all spring, and the other guys have been down there working out. He just shows up, hadn't taken batting practice, walks up, hits a home run, then goes out in a second at bat, hits another home run, gets in his car and drives home.
When you can do it, you can do it. You know, another thing that I never played with him, but I played with a lot of guys that were there when he was there, and you hear all these stories, and he must have been great in the clubhouse. I mean, talk about keeping the clubhouse, you know, a light, happy place, joking around all the time. You know, that's another thing I think it's overlooked when you talk about Dave Parker. It's always about the field, what he can do, run, hit, throw, all this stuff. But his teammates legitimately just love being around him.
Vasquez hits one to right field. Gomes moves over and back and makes the catch. Dave Parker, 1979 All-Star game. He was the MVP. Dave Parker, watch the throw. That is just a crazy throw to nail Jim Rice at third base.
Yeah, he put his arm on display. That first one was kind of to make up for messing up. He misplayed a pop fly, lost it in the dome, and it landed behind him, and he ended up making the throw to make up for it.
Gary Carter made that last tag. I think that was Bobby Grich of the Angels he tagged out. And just an amazing arm. Cannon of an arm from right field. Brian Bixler, 0-1. 0-2 to Bixler. Bixler appeared as a pinch hitter and walked in the 7th inning of last night's game. He went out and played some second base. One down, bottom of the second. Here's the 0-2 pitch, and that's high, 1-2.
Try to throw a fastball by him upstairs, make him chase, and that's one of the problems. There's two things I think that, you know, Bixler really needs to work on, and one is he puts too much pressure on himself. He needs to relax this level and truly believe that he is talented enough to do this. And the other thing is he needs to swing at more strikes. He chases too many bad pitches.
We'll get this one up in the air to right. This one's going back. Gomes on the track makes the catch. Let's go back to 1979 one more time as we check out our Barrel League leaders stat. National League runs leaders, Omar Moreno with 110. And there was Dave Parker in the third spot, tied with Davey Lopes, then with the Dodgers, 109. But Keith Hernandez, St. Louis Cardinals in 79, 116 runs scored. We see Hernandez as part of the Mets broadcast crew now, when he's not doing cameos on Seinfeld or commercials.
Yeah, Keith doesn't look nearly as old as those other guys on that list.
It's the
I've seen it,
stuff that he and Walt Frazier.
A lot
pushed.
of the
That's
other
why.
guys, they look like they're graying. You know, he's really kept that dark hair of his.
It's no secret. 1-1 to Hart. Hart, his last time up against the Brewers, had 2 hits. First career multi-hit game. Bailey's 2-1. And this one shot to right, foul. Kevin Hart likes to use the bat.
And that's sometimes half the battle. You have to enjoy going up to the plate and hitting. A lot of pitchers, they don't like it. They think, oh, I can't hit. I'm no good at it. It's embarrassing. The guys that really look forward to getting up there, you know, they're ahead of the game right there. With no talent at all, they're ahead of the game.
Well, Hart had plenty of experience in college at the University of Maryland. He played first base as well as pitched. And he was actually a first-team All-ACC selection out of Maryland in 2004. So the bat isn't a stranger to him. Payoff pitch from Bailey. And he walked him. Hart wasn't sure for a second. 2-out walk issue to the pitcher, Kevin Hart. That's something that has to drive Dusty Baker nuts.
As a pitcher, you want that home plate umpire to be your friend. You don't want to be running down, throwing your bat and jogging toward first when he's calling strike 3. I want to show him up.
Is the parrot getting her digits?
What is he doing?
I think he's putting his number in her cell phone.
Looks like it.
Look
yeah.
at that.
Is his fingers that small? He really can push those buttons.
Must be big buttons.
Yeah.
Wants her to get a new phone, apparently.
Oh.
Beware the parrot. 0-1. 1-1 now to McCutchen. Now we're in the bottom of the second inning. And look at the pitch count. That was pitch number 80.
Well, that's what the matchup kind of showed you, I think, going in this game. Both pitchers, they have a tendency to take their time and throw a ton of pitches. And that's what it is.
Well, I hope you're not doing much today, folks. Make sure your refrigerator's stocked and bring a footstool. Put it next to your chair.
Not going to be a quick game.
We're going to be here a little while. Two and one to Andrew McCutchen. 2 men out. Kevin Hart at first, a short lead. And it's now a 3-1 count to McCutchen. With Delwyn Young on deck. Reds got their run in the top of the first inning. Dickerson, a leadoff single. He stole second. Was driven home by Brandon Phillips. And McCutchen has walked. Back-to-back walks with 2 outs issued by Homer Bailey. And that'll put the tying run in scoring position. Hart goes down to second. And Dusty Baker is coming out. There's nobody warming up in the bullpen for Cincinnati, so this won't be a change.
No, this is Dusty. He may do one of those Chuck Tanner deals and put his arm on his shoulder and dig his thumb into his collarbone. Say, son, it's time to get with it here.
Well, got another great promotion coming up again. For every run the Pirates score during the series against the Phillies this Tuesday through Thursday, fans will receive $1 off the purchase price of left field and right field box seats for the series against the Cardinals at PNC Park, Friday, September 4th through the 6th. Tickets will be available for purchase starting at 9 a.m. this Friday morning at pirates.com/howmanyruns, the PNC Park box office, and by calling 1-800-BUY-BUCKS. Runners at first and second. 2 down for Delwyn Young. Young had a base hit first time up. And Bailey delivers outside. Well wide of home plate. 1-0. 3-0-1 with runners in scoring position. Pirates could use a run right now. Well, looking forward to the run scoring promotion again. Did that during the Arizona series. And this one is popped up left side over the third base dugout. And Pirates got 11 runs one game. We thought, oh, this is going to be easy. Blanton and Ollendorf Tuesday, Hamels and Mahalam Wednesday, Happ and Morton on Thursday. The world champion Phillies come in. All those games on FSN. Pregame starting at 6:30. Pedro Martinez on the mound for them today, so he will miss the Pirates series. 1-1 to Young, and he waves and misses at that one.
That one getting away there at the plate a little bit. If he had a regular player on second base, he would have probably moved up on it. But Hart, being a pitcher, played a conservative.
Now Pedro's got an 8-3 lead in the third against the Mets today for the Phillies. Here's the 1-2 to Young. And this one is popped up. Paul Janisch will take care of it. And the Pirates have stranded 5 through the first 2 innings. It's a 1-0 Reds lead. Only $20. Visit pirates.com/groups or call 1-800-BUY-BUCKS. Lots of hats today. The hard hat. Helmets today. Top of the third inning, a 1-0 Cincinnati lead. Batting helmet day's a great day at the ballpark, isn't it?
Oh, that's one of the best giveaways that they've ever thought of. When we were in the little meeting we had the other day, looking over some of the promotional items for the upcoming games, John Weiner got the yellow batting helmet, looked at it, and thought back to, he goes, I had one when I was a small kid that was exactly like this.
The Carrot Kid. I bet a lot of kids in the Pittsburgh region had the same helmet that's been given out today.
A lot of the moms and dads that are here right now, they all had helmets just like that. Oh, talk about rock! There he is.
Looks like he's
you know where he's at. He's in the all. You look, see, he's got the deal on his wrist. Those are the all-you-can-eat seats. He's out there playing dad on Kids Day. That way, Rock.
He just hasn't started working on the food yet.
No, he will. Surprised he doesn't have his one of the kids' yellow helmets on. I got the helmets put away someplace. There with his daughters.
I'm sure the girls are discussing the infield fly rule or something. 2-2 to Chris Dickerson. Nobody out here in the top of inning number 3. Dickerson waits for Kevin Hart. Fouls it back. Well, Cincinnati missing one of their main men for the rest of the season. Pitcher Aaron Harang has gone on the disabled list. Dusty Baker had to send him back to Cincinnati. Saw Harang here Friday, and then last night had his appendix taken out in Cincinnati. So Harang is done for the season. And Rolen activated, took Harang's spot on the roster. Harang had 14 losses, 6-14. And the way he pitched in spring training, we saw him a couple of times. In fact, one time he was unhittable, and one time at the beginning of the season in April in a regular season game, he was nearly unhittable, and things went south for him. Now Dickerson, a leadoff walk.
Well, a lot of baseball people thought that the Reds had a chance this year because of their starting rotation when the season started with Johnny Cueto, Aaron Harang, Edison Volquez. And they're all on the DL. Bronson Arroyo, another guy that, solid big league starting pitcher. They had an opportunity to have a great staff, starting staff this year, but didn't pitch as well as expected, and the health problems.
Arroyo will pitch next for the Reds on Tuesday in Milwaukee. He's next in their rotation. So the Reds trying to move Dickerson over to second base now. Giannis with an 0-1 count. The pitch. And that is fouled right off the instep of Paul Giannis.
Got him.
Right in the back of the leg.
It hurt.
Got him on the meaty part.
Doesn't hurt as bad as that one that Paul Maholm got off his shin a few nights ago. Line drive right in the front of his shin. You know they're going to hurt when they break the skin. When the baseball hits you hard enough to break your skin, you got plunked, and that was the deal with Paul.
Well, we saw Paul Thursday at the golf outing, the Pirates Charities, and he had a huge bandage covering up that bruise. And he said that one really hurt. I said, what about the one that was the comebacker off your arm, left arm? He said, no, that was nothing. He said, it just looks like I got hit by a pitch. So that was nothing compared to the one that he got on the leg. Didn't stop him from playing golf, though.
Yeah, he loves golf.
1-2 to Giannis. Dickerson leaning.
Big lead.
And now the pitch just missing inside and low. 2-2.
Hart held the ball on him. I think that's what messed Dickerson up. I thought he was going to run there. He had a huge lead and he was kind of leaning a little bit, and then Hart held the ball, and Dickerson ended up taking about a step and a half back toward first as Hart was going home.
Long pause, and there goes Dickerson. Pitch fouled away.
Hart down with 46 pitches. Nobody out in the third. Neither one of these starters doesn't look at this point like either one of them going to go real deep in this ball game. They're going to get their pitch counts up to 100 in a hurry.
Again, the 2-2. The throw goes over, and Dickerson more than likely expecting it. Dickerson, good-looking young player for Cincinnati, a guy who they can count on for some time to come. And the throw over, and he got him. Dickerson got up off the bag. He appears to be hurt.
Yeah, he came back. That left foot, when he planted it, did something really weird, and I think that's what happened. That's why he came off the bag. I don't know if it was maybe a calf and Achilles. I think it's something along those lines.
And trainer Mark Mann is out there taking a look at Dickerson.
Watch his left foot as it goes back to the bag. Oh, his ankle. He rolled the ankle. That's what happened.
And you can hear the grunt of pain by Dickerson when that ankle rolled into the bag. Now, those bags are stationary. They don't move. And you have to learn to play around them, obviously, and most guys don't have trouble with them. Just a freak thing happening there to Dickerson.
He tried to make that lunge, and I think he thought he was going to come down right on the front edge of the bag, but he came up a little short. Makes the lunge with the left foot, and it doesn't quite reach the bag, and he turns it over, and right there he comes off. He had to get the weight off his leg because of the pain, and when he shifted the weight off the leg, that's when the foot came up off the bag, and that's when the out call was made.
The Reds have had nothing but problems with injuries lately.
All year.
Dickerson has to be helped off the field.
They have been all season just an injury-riddled club, and it's caught up with them this last month. They just keep losing people. You know, we were just, when he got hurt, we were just talking about Harang out for the season with an appendectomy, and you were talking about Dickerson and how they can depend on him for a long time. And seconds later, I mean, it doesn't look like he's going to be out there for a while.
Starting catcher Ramon Hernandez had left knee surgery. Right fielder Jay Bruce, a broken right wrist. Pitcher Edinson Volquez, right elbow surgery. And a hit into center field by Giannis on a 2-2 pitch. So he is aboard, replacing Dickerson at first base. So one out. Giannis a base hit. That'll bring up Joey Votto. Also out, pitcher Mike Lincoln. He had cervical disc replacement surgery. Wilkin Castillo, utility man, had left shoulder surgery, and infielder Danny Richard had left shoulder surgery also that ended his season. And Harang's appendectomy was the 7th surgical procedure done on a Reds player this year. Joey Votto, 1 ball, no strikes. He struck out swinging in the first inning. So tough break for Chris Dickerson and the Reds. They've got to lead 1-0 here, top of the 3rd. Pitch. Votto's taking a big cut.
He's their big gun. RBI man.
Votto also spent some time on the DL, but not for an injury. Pitch inside to him. 2 balls and a strike. He had that social anxiety disorder.
Had some issues with some dizziness, eye problems.
Khalil Green of the Cardinals had something similar to that too. He missed time.
He's missing a long time now. Lost his job.
Lost his job. It's true. He's not the starting shortstop anymore, and he's had to play some third base for the Cardinals. Cardinals continuing their series out west with the Padres. They will play later this afternoon. John Smoltz will make his Cardinal debut. 3-2, and Votto hits this one loudly to left field. Millage on the track. Makes the grab. Votto thought he had enough, but the ballpark held it in deep left center.
It had that good sound coming off the bat. And yeah, Votto thought it was very impressive. He wanted to sit there and stare at it a while. Millage decides that he'll just go ahead and turn it into an out.
A long and loud out by Joey Votto. He's 0 for 2. At the plate now, Brandon Phillips, an RBI single and a stolen base in the first inning. Second baseman, cleanup hitter, takes outside and low. 1 ball, no strikes to Brandon Phillips. Watching Phillips play yesterday, it was interesting to watch how he went about his defense, because he seemed to put everything to his backhand, even when there were balls that he could have gotten in front of, which fundamentally would be the way to go. Ground ball down to third, and Vasquez will throw out Phillips. And that takes care of Cincinnati in the 3rd inning. Phillips very slow to get out of the batter's box. I'm not sure Brandon Phillips is feeling very well after this one. A little slow to get out. So the injury bug continues to bite the Cincinnati Reds. Our farm report features Jose Tabata today of the Indianapolis Indians, a 20-year-old. 1 for 3, 2-run home run last night. He's had a 5-game hitting streak. Has been very impressive. I think he just turned 21, didn't he? Jose Tabata. 2021. Either way, he's pretty young, and we might see him in another week. Drew Stubbs now takes over in center field for the injured Chris Dickerson. And Garrett Jones pops this one up and out of play. Well, Brandon Phillips doesn't seem too worse for the wear out at second base.
No, he was just trying to sell the foul ball. He tried to sell to the umpire that, hey, I just drove one off my foot. It's hurting really bad. Please call it a foul ball. And then when it wasn't called a foul ball, then he was fine.
1-1 to Jones. 1-2. Garrett Jones right now, when you look at the rookie statistics, is on top of the list for batting average, is on top of the list for home runs, and he's now made the list for runs batted in. He's on top in 2/3 of the Triple Crown categories. And another one that he's on top in is slugging percentage. And considering he came up the 1st of July, his first full month in the big leagues was the Rookie of the Month for July. Garrett Jones' numbers continue to climb.
It's going to be a very interesting end of the year Rookie of the Year vote. There are a lot of candidates and 2 great ones right here playing on the same team.
Homer Bailey snares it, and he'll throw out Jones. Good play. That ball gets over the glove of Bailey. Jones has a chance to run that one out.
Jones, he's not just a big slugger. He's very athletic. Good speed.
.22-year-old Homer Bailey, 6'3", 210. LaGrange, Texas is where he calls home. Ball 1-2, Lasting's Millage. No, Millage played on a Little League World Series team.
No.
Millage has had a lot of good experiences in baseball. Not necessarily one here as he hits a routine grounder to Giannis and grounds out. That brings up Ryan Domit. Domit with 2 outs. Hammered one into the night sky last night.
Be looking to hammer one here. Come up with an extra base hit, if nothing else.
Pirates need to find a way to get a run across. They left the bases full in the first inning, stranded 2 more in the second. Nobody on here in the third. Ball 1 to Domit.
Bailey is tossing a shutout, but it is a messy one. He's got about 61 pitches now. 61 pitches for 2 2/3 innings, and he hasn't given up a run.
Votto with a backhand. And a 1-2-3 inning as the Pirates are set down in order in the third.
And by Aflac, we've got you under our wing.
It is time for our Aflac trivia question. And today's question: who are the only 2 players to appear in all 7 games of a World Series and bat .500? I know one of them.
Well, yeah, we've been talking about one of them this weekend. There's your hint, one of the 79 guys.
And the other thing is the other guy wasn't a 71 guy. Wasn't a Pirate either. 79 guy. Did I say 71?
Yes.
79.
I know what you mean. The other guy
wasn't 71 either.
No.
Top of the 4th, a 1-0 Reds lead. Here's Scott Rowland. Down to 3rd and foul. How's that taste, Bob?
Oh, it's a hot day up here, Muggy.
Nothing in 2 to Rowland, who walked in the first inning. One and 2. The last guy who had a can in this TV booth Friday night was Bert Blylev. Except it was something different than what you have.
Well, I figure he's set the tone. That's the way you got to go. Celebration weekend.
2-2 pitch. Fouled right back.
Good rip there from Rowland. I'm sure everybody's going to be watching him here these next couple of weeks to see if he's hanging in there.
Let's see, could these guys be related, John Wehner and Scott Rowland? See if they're separated at birth some. What do you think?
Yeah, they both could pick it at 3rd. I know that.
Wehner with Major League record 99 consecutive games without an error.
Not dropping any of those peanuts either.
He usually doesn't drop the peanuts.
You know, watching him do games up here, is there any doubt that when he goes to the ballpark he eats in the all-you-can-eat seats? Or
he eats in the all-you-can-eat seats every night.
Yeah. He really loves the ballparks that have the food room, whatever we call that, right behind the press box. Yeah. Those are the places he really likes.
Scott Rowland, 5-time National League All-Star.
Be going to one of his favorite next road trip, going to Milwaukee.
Yeah.
He'll be hitting those brats hard during the game.
That's right. And the press room at Cincinnati's ran out the back door. He knows the route. It's probably about 5 steps to the food for him. There's the 3-2 pitch to Rowland. This one down the right field line, and that's going to be foul. 1997. He was the National League Rookie of the Year, voted unanimously, by the way. Been a Silver Slugger winner, Gold Glover. He's won 7 Gold Gloves. And he will walk.
He was the next Mike Schmidt in Philadelphia.
So rolling down to first base. And Lance Nix will stand in. Nix struck out in the first inning. And that one low ball 1. So Kevin Hart has been around the plate, but what we've seen, Bob, from Kevin Hart in his brief duty with the Pirates is he gets into a lot of full counts.
Yes, he does, and that's why I can see why his walk totals were elevated in Chicago, because he's pitching with 3 balls a lot. Now, so far, in Pittsburgh.
And a base hit to right field. Rolen is going to go first to third.
Okay, he's no sloth, I told you.
All right, he can run.
But in Pittsburgh, starting for us as a bucko, gets into long counts, but he hasn't been throwing ball 4 very often.
Garrett Jones thought he might have had a chance at that ball after holding Rolen at first. Had to dive off the bag, make an attempt at it.
Big advantage for those left-handed hitters. There are a lot of things that are an advantage for a lefty, and that's just one of them. When there's somebody on first base, you got a huge hole to hit through. You're closer to first base. Most pitchers are right-handed. I think of some others here in a second, but as far as being a hitter, baseball was designed for you if you're a lefty.
Gomes fouls it back. Strike 1.
And I guess they wanted to even it out. So you had the advantage of, being a left-hand hitter, but then they don't make very many positions that you can play.
Yeah.
You can play at first, or you can be an outfielder. So, tried to even it out.
They tried to let some lefties catch before. It just didn't work out. Benny DiStefano, the last left-handed catcher in the big leagues.
Yeah, but Benny really wasn't a catcher. He was
Last guy to do it.
yeah,
Left-handed.
kind of an emergency type catcher, and went out there and caught a little bit. So Benny was a first baseman coming up to the minor leagues. Benny D was a good first baseman too. Played with him in Hawaii when I first came over from Atlanta. Well, he could really play the position. Gomes has a lot going on there before he gets ready to hit.
Yeah, he's got a whole routine. 1-1 pitch. And this one to center. It'll hang up for McCutchen. Rolen will tag. Here comes the throw. Jones will cut it off, and it's 2-0 Cincinnati. Sacrifice fly for Gomes and an RBI number 38 for Gomes. And that's a leadoff walk coming around to score. So that's something that certainly Kevin Hart will look back on this day and say, why did I walk him? Pitchers often do. They say, why did I do this? Why did I do that? Well, you did it.
Hannigan, the one that laced that ball to left field last time up, that was a tricky catch.
It was. He lined out to Millich. Takes a strike. So force play on in the infield. Pirates have turned 132 double plays this year. In position for one right here. Hannigan a good candidate. 2-0 Reds. Top of inning number 4. Nothing and 2 to Hannigan.
Hart's in the driver's seat now when it comes to trying to get that double play ball.
Brian Bixler getting his first start with the Pirates since May.
Came up here and sat for a while. He's been with the club. But just now getting out on the field today.
Joined the team on the last road trip in Chicago. 0-2, and he got him. Fouled it into the glove of Ryan Doman. Kevin Hart strikes out Hannigan. That'll bring up the pitcher Homer Bailey.
Oh, surprised with the location. I thought he might go to work on him a little bit, but instead he decided to throw that 0-2 pitch belt high down the middle.
Third strikeout for Hart. Talked about strikeouts to walks. He has 3 walks and 3 strikeouts in the game. Homer Bailey grounded out to Bixler at short to end the second inning. One thing, if you're going to end up with success, you can't have an even strikeouts to walks number. 2-1 is fine, but 2-1 strikes to walks. Two 2-0 to Homer Bailey. He delivers strike one. The Pirates get an off day tomorrow. It's rare to have 2 off days on a homestand, but they'll have an off day tomorrow. And then the Phillies Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday here at PNC Park. There's a chopper to third. Vasquez with lots of time. He throws out Bailey, and that'll do it. But a run comes across on a hit. 1 man left through 3.5. It's the Reds 2, Bucks nothing. Pepper. The only 2 players that 500 in a World Series play all 7 games. 2-0 Reds, bottom of the 4th. Brandon Moss will lead off against Homer Bailey. And Moss takes ball 1. Moss struck out with the bases loaded his first time up. That was in the first inning. Bailey for his 64th pitch. 2-0 to Moss. Moss has had some good days at the plate, some not so good days. One good day was the 22nd of July when he hit a walk-off homer against Milwaukee in a day game here. This time he goes down the left side, and that is out of play.
Well, that's when things were starting to click for him, that late July. He was starting to swing the bat, I thought, a little bit better.
He was getting more regular at bats at that time. Here comes the 2-1. 2-2. Brandon Moss trying to find his way aboard. Pirates looking for a run. Runs were not a problem last night. Neither were hits. But today has been a different story so far against Homer Bailey. And Moss hits this one to center on a line, and Drew Stubbs makes the catch, 1 away.
Well, I don't think you really have to worry about Homer Bailey all that long out there today. I believe no matter how well he pitches, after about the 6th inning, we're going to be in the bullpen, even if he is throwing a shutout. unless they're just going to let him go and it'll be like the old days. You just pitch as long as you're getting them out and don't pay any attention to that pitch count.
Ramon Vasquez swings at the first pitch and hits it to center. Stubbs getting busy early out there. And he records the second out quickly in the bottom half of the fourth.
Yeah, this could help him out in that regard, though, if he gets this last out fairly quick. He'll be at 70 pitches through 4 innings.
29 pitches in the first inning. 24 in the second.
Those first 2 innings, that's the ones that's like, wow, you're kidding me. But now, you know, that one pitch for the second out, that helped a lot. Had him where we wanted to early and didn't do anything about it. It might come back and bite us.
0-1. Bixler looks at it low, breaking ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Bixler had 8 starts at shortstop from the 26th of April through the 10th of May. Went 5 for 25 with 2 runs batted in that time. Now he's behind 1 and 2. And I remember the look on his face after the game in New York on the 10th of May. He made an error and struck out a couple of times. He had looked like he had been through the ringer. He was sent down right after the game. Got his act together in Indianapolis and finds himself back here.
Took him a while to get things together. I had a radio interview with him a couple of days ago, I guess for Friday's radio show, and he was talking about when he first went down. I mean, he was so upset with what happened, in New York, for instance, like you were talking about, that he really got down on himself and just kind of moped around and wouldn't get with it at AAA.
2-2 is a gap shot to right center. Bixler will head into second base with a 2-out double.
But, got himself together, and I mentioned, that I said, you fell off the radar. I mean, we didn't even know you were around, and then not the last month, we're starting to see your name up on the minor league sheets that we're getting. And he said, yeah, that's the way it was, because I went down there, says I did nothing. I was feeling sorry for myself. I was down on myself. I was thinking that, that I wasn't going to be able to do this. Total lack of confidence. And with Bixler, you see the athletic talent that he can run, hit, throw. He can do all that stuff. Here we go again. He has all the tools. And I just think that, and I mentioned this the first time he was up, that 2 things. He needs to hit strikes, and he needs to have some confidence in himself and not put all the pressure in the world. Just be able to accept it when things aren't going well and say, hey, I've prepared myself. The effort was there. If the results didn't come about, so be it. But I did everything possible. The only person he needs to keep happy is himself when he looks at himself in the mirror. And they're all like that. All young guys are like that.
Kevin Hart behind 0-2.
You get to this level and you start thinking, I got to be better than I've ever been anywhere else. When that's totally not true, because what you did everywhere else is what got you here in the first place. Just keep doing what you're capable of. Everything will be fine after that. You're talented or you wouldn't be here.
Kevin Hart trying to drive Bixler in, and he wants time. And you see where he called time, Bailey wasn't in the stretch position, but when Hart was on the mound earlier, he was already stretched and set and getting ready to deliver, and the hitter called time for Cincinnati, and he ended up having to throw the pitch. There ought to be a rule, Bob.
Well, that the rule book even mentions it. I mean, it gets into it says you're not even supposed to call time if he's got a bug in his eye, or he wants to see the signs again. It says it doesn't make any difference. You are not to call time. Where's your rule book? I want to, in between innings, I want to read that again.
All right, scour the book again. Always good that you are interested in learning the rules of baseball. Hart strikes out, and that leaves a runner aboard. So we're through 4 at PNC Park, and the Reds with a 2-0 lead. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. Bob Walk, Tim Everett back at PNC Park, 2-0 Cincinnati. Top of the 5th inning, and Hart dealing to Drew Stubbs, who's now hitting in the leadoff spot for the injured Chris Dickerson. Dickerson in the 3rd inning will try to get back to first base, stepped on the bag the wrong way, was picked off in the process, and had to be carried up to the clubhouse.
Well, Tim, I want to read this rule to you, and this is the one I was telling you about. And you tell me if this is not strictly just black and white. I mean, I don't see how this can be interpreted any other way. It says umpires will not call time at the request of the batter or any member of his team once the pitcher has started his windup or has come to a set position, even though the batter claims.
Well, this one hit into the right center field gap. Long run from McCutchen. He won't get it. It bounces into the seats for a ground rule double.
Let me finish this real quick. Even though the batter claims dust in his eyes, steamed glasses, didn't get the sign, or any other cause. Now, I think that's pretty cut and dry. When you're in a set position, the umpire is not supposed to call time no matter what. And it happens in every game you'll ever see.
It's already happened here today.
I do understand it. And there you see the ball bounce.
It's a rare ball that's out of the reach of McCutchen.
Oh, he really does run, what, 99% of those down. If it gets over his head, it's in the stands. He catches them all. Not that time.
Yanish looking to bunt him over. Pitch up and in. 1 ball, no strikes.
Thanks for letting me borrow your rule book.
Anytime.
I wanted to read that word for word for you to really. I thought it said bug in the eye, but it said dust in the eye. I knew it was something in the eye. But I just, years ago I read that rule and I'm like, wait a minute, how can that be a rule? That doesn't happen. Well, there it is. They do it all the time.
Well, maybe if you said you had a bug in your eye, he would call timeout.
I don't know.
Instead of dust.
I guess.
Maybe they're used to the dust
but
excuse.
I thought that was kind of, that the rule book would actually specify steam glasses, dust in your eye, or I didn't get the sign.
Well, why do you think that is?
Doesn't matter. It doesn't make any difference. Well, they're trying to point out.
They've heard it all.
Yeah. It doesn't matter what the excuse is. no time is called, but they call time all the time.
2-1. Now as Giannis failed to get that bunt down. Well, the leadoff man for Cincinnati has been aboard in the first, in the third, in the fourth, and now again here in the fifth. And 2 times the leadoff man has reached via a walk. And this time the double by Drew Stubbs, the second of his season. And action starting now in the Pirates' pen. Strike 2.
What we got out there?
Looks like Steven Jackson getting started.
Yes, it is. Art getting ready to throw pitch number 84.
There's the 2-2. And this one might be playable. Goes off the roof of the Reds dugout. Dolmet gave it a good look. So did Jones at first base. Well, a new souvenir. That's something to show off.
Yeah, we got plenty of kids here this afternoon for the foul balls. Sunday should always be a big foul ball day.
Big day for the batting helmets today. Two again. To third base. Vasquez goes to first. They get the out there, and they'll hold Stubbs at second. The veteran, Ramon Vasquez. Joey Votto was 0 for 2. He struck out in the first inning, flying out deep to left field in the third. Now batting with a runner in scoring position against Kevin Hart. This is not the first time Hart has faced the Reds this season. He faced them as a member of the Cubs and success against them. This one fouled away. Back on the 25th of July at Wrigley Field, he went 6 innings, gave up 5 hits, 1 earned run, walked 1, struck out 4, and got a 5-3 victory. And this one to center field. On comes McCutchen. He will make the throw, and not a good one. That allows Votto to go down to second base.
Well, that's been a little bit of a sore spot on the McCutchen defense, is the long kind of rainbow throws. He's made maybe a half dozen of these in his time in the big leagues, where he comes up, he makes a throw, and there's just no chance that they can be cut off. And when that happens, there you go. You get Votto just a free pass in the scoring position. But that's something that I'm sure that he has probably been told coming up through the minor leagues since the Gulf Coast League.
I'm sure Gary Varsho has reminded him.
For some reason, it hasn't stuck. I'm sure for the last 5 years he's been told you can't make throws like that.
Got to give your chance to give your team a chance to get another out.
Yeah, people talk about youthful mistakes, and a lot of these mistakes that are made at this level really aren't youthful mistakes. I mean, there's nothing youthful about throwing the ball like that. That has nothing to do with it. That's just a mistake. Period. Every outfielder that's ever played knows that you can't make a throw like that, but it happens occasionally, and you try to minimize it. And that's, right now I'm sure McCutchen is thinking to himself, you talk about pitchers asking why. Well, outfielders, they ask why also. He's asking himself, why did I do that?
Outfielders don't get as many throws as pitchers do.
No. They should.
But with the ones they get, they have to make them count.
Well, they shouldn't ask why as often either. Sometimes I wonder.
Brandon Phillips, 2 balls and 1 strike to count to the Cincinnati second baseman. Drove in a run in the first inning. And he's got Joey Votto with a lead off of second base. Three and 1 to Phillips. Scott Rowland on deck. And Kevin Hart pitching here in the top of the 5th. Trailing 3-0. Watch out. It's just an excuse me, get out of the way foul ball.
Tried to hold up that ball all over his hands.
Stinger.
Knocked him backwards.
Phillips, a .260 hitter. He has 17 home runs this year. 76 runs batted in, too. Here's the 3-2. This one to right field, and Moss gets underneath it. And that is the second out of the 5th. Well, if you've got a burning question about your Buccos, you can get spot-on analysis and honest answers. Just ask Teak. Send your question to former Pirates pitching great Kent Tekulve at Pirates postgame at fsnpittsburgh.net. Ask Teak after the game only on Pirates postgame. Rolling up for the 3rd time. He's walked twice, scored once. Scott Rowland became a professional in 1993. Rowland was with Martinsville in rookie ball that year, and then made his major league debut in '96.
Very talented. Got up there pretty quick.
Just a few steps on the minor league ladder, and then he's been in the big leagues ever since. He's got a long resume. 0-1 pitch. 1-1. Rolling a swing and a miss. And Votto drifted off second base a little bit.
Fastball. It almost looked like it cut a little bit and ran away from Rowland. And it had something on it too. That ball was 93 miles an hour, and you could see from that view we had there, the ball kind of just sliding away from him a little. I don't know if he meant to cut it, but it certainly looked like it had that action. Sometimes you'll come off the side of a ball a little accidental and give it a little cut movement. The ball will run away from the right-hander.
Heard at 92 miles an hour. So Rowland 1 ball 2 strikes, 2 down. The runner at second is Joey Votto. And the Pirates trying to get to the plate in the 5th inning. They'll have the top of the order up.
Down by 3. There's still plenty of time in this game, and Cincinnati has really struggled with the pitching part of the game this year.
And Rowland strikes out. So he got Rowland to chase, and Kevin Hart gets out of the 5th. Well, the run comes in though. 3-0 Reds. Property Services pen whenever they enter the ballpark. For tickets, visit Pirates.com or call 1-800-BUY-BUCKS. Another T-shirt Thursday. It's the Bucks and the Phillies here at PNC Park. Andrew McCutchen leads off against Homer Bailey in the bottom of the 5th inning. 3-0 Reds. 3 runs on 6 hits for Cincinnati. No runs on 3 hits for the Pirates. Here's the 1-0. That's in there for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Popped the glove at 93.
Because of a couple of short innings, he still has some pitches left in his ammo bag. I really thought that after 5 innings he'd been at 100. But now he's probably only going to be about 90 or so if he has a clean inning.
3-1 to McCutchen. Pirates need McCutchen to get on with nobody out. Need to start moving him around.
Now we had that in the first inning and nothing happened. As you said, they need to let him loose.
There's ball 4.
Let him run.
McCutchen a little bit angry there. The way he threw his bat and his shin guard, he seemed too pleased.
Yeah, he might be a little upset. He's still thinking a little bit about his throw. I mean, a 3-1 pitch inside, you're not going to get mad at that.
Keep an eye on Andrew McCutchen.
Who throws at people 3-1? Never heard of such a thing.
Nobody? You never hit a guy on a 3-1 pitch?
Certainly not on purpose.
There goes McCutchen, and he is going to be safe at second base.
And easy. He's already popping up out of his slide. That's what I mean. He could have done that in the first inning. He would have been able to get in there. I mean, the guy is just, flames coming off of it. He can motor. We're talking about a player that you could see stealing 50 bases a year without breaking a sweat.
Pickoff attempt at second, and he gets his hand in. Pretty good throw by Bailey to Giannis covering, but quickly McCutchen was back.
Yeah, real good timing, good location on the throw. In fact, perfect timing, and that's what made it a little bit close.
Want to note at Delwyn Young. Pirates looking for their first run. And Young down the left field line. That'll be foul.
That's where he hit the ball in the first inning. His base hit down left field. Got third baseman in even with the bag. Shortstop jockeying around out there. So there's a hole over there to shoot one through. That's for sure. There it is.
And this would be a good inning to get into Homer Bailey here. We're in the 5th. He hasn't thrown a lot of pitches the last couple of innings. Threw a lot in the first 2. Nobody out and a runner in scoring position. Good speed on the base paths and a good hitter at the plate. Guy who makes a lot of contact. And this one is lifted over the third base dugout foul. 29-24. He had a 9-pitch inning in the 3rd. That gave him a bit of a break. 15 in the 4th, and now 9 so far in the 5th. Two coming to Young. And this one will be down for a base hit. Rounding third is McCutchen, and he'll score an RBI single for Delwyn Young, and the Bucks on the board. It's 3-1.
Speed, baby. McCutchen, that's what he can do. We talked about it the first inning when he He didn't go and didn't take advantage of it. Here he does. He walks, immediately gets himself in the scoring position, and a little jam shot blooper drives him in. So what have we done to get our run? Not really a whole lot, other than a little jam shots to right field. Take advantage of that weapon.
McCutchen scores. Young is at first base, and Garrett Jones at the plate. Jones 0 for 2. Jones takes a strike.
We need the long ball today. That's what has been missing that we've had the last 5 days.
Pirates have homered in a season high 5 straight.
And Bailey averages giving one up every 5 or so innings.
This is the 5th. And Jones to the right side. Phillips to Giannis for 1. Back to Votto. That's a Cincinnati double play.
Hit sharply right at him. There wasn't much they're going to be able to do to avoid getting doubled up on that one. That fairly hard, short hopped Phillips. I mean, Young couldn't even get down and try and break it up because he has to hold up to make sure the ball doesn't get to Phillips's glove in the air.
And now Lasting's Millage takes one on the corner. Millage in the cleanup spot today. He's 0 for 2. Fielder's choice in the first, and a ground out to the shortstop Giannis in the 3rd inning. Well, McCutchen walks, steals second, comes around on the base hit to right by Young. Pirates have a base runner. Steven Jackson continues to loosen. And this one's fouled back. So with Jackson warming up, you look at the pitch count of Kevin Hart. He's got 99 pitches. 99 pitches halfway through the game.
And it's not always the total too. It's the, how many innings. So much more difficult to throw 100 pitches in 5 innings than it is to throw 100 pitches in 8 innings.
Millage pops it up. Drew Stubbs in center field. Retires Millage. Pirates get a run on 1 hit. Nobody left. Through 5. It's a 3-1 ball game. Three-1 Cincinnati. We go to the 6th inning, and just when you think you're down, oh no. Sometimes you may want to get back up. Saul just had a very difficult time there.
Yeah, this is what character is right here. This is heart, determination. This says it all right here. This race. Saul, big lead, goes down. He's hurt, but he's not giving up. He's back on his feet. I mean, think how much his leg is killing him right now. The knee, look at it. He's got a little limp. He's fighting through it, though. And he's a winner. That's what he is.
See, Saul knows the difference between pain and injury. Check out our A&L game summary, how we got to this point. Brandon Phillips, 1 for 3, has driven in a run. Drew Stubbs, 1 for 1 with a double and a run scored. He replaced Chris Dickerson, who went out in the third injured. And Andrew McCutchen, 1 for 1. Walked twice, stolen a base, and has scored a run. That's today's A&L Motors game summary. And Steven Jackson takes over for Kevin Hart. Hart went 5 innings. Gave up 3 runs on 6 hits, walked 3, struck out 4, and the first pitch to Lance Nix is fouled away. Third time Jackson has been in the big leagues with the Pirates this season. And Nix to left field. Here comes Millage. And that's the first out of the 6th inning.
Covering some ground. Remember earlier he went back, he made a catch right up against the fence. That was off to his left a little bit. Now he's coming the opposite direction. He's coming in to his right. Getting the hang of this big left field here at PNC Park.
He seems to be running so much better than when he first got up here. Jackson delivers, and Gomes, that stings. Where did he get it? Up right there on the inside of the left foot.
Yep. Right down. Ouch.
Don't let anybody know that hurts. But we all know it does. That's into left field. Vasquez had a chance at that baseball. Gomes has been hitting the ball hard this series. He is aboard.
He ripped one through LaRoche's glove. Wasn't he that hit that line drive that went off LaRoche's glove last night? Just a rocket down to third base. Does it again this time. It's not a line drive, though. It's hopping down there, or one hopper.
That's ruled a base hit.
Too hot to handle.
1 on and 1 out for Hannigan, the catcher. Jackson would like to get out of this inning quickly and get the Pirate bats to the plate. Trying to chip away at this Cincinnati lead.
As a sinker ball guy, he would love to get real quick ground ball, get a double play, get the Pirates back to the bat rack. They've got up off the floor, finally scored a run last inning. Keep a little momentum going your direction.
Jackson out of Somerville, South Carolina, 6'5" and 215. Taken by the Pirates from the Yankees off waivers the 18th of May.
Momentum's kind of a funny thing that in baseball. It's tough to take it from day to day, but definitely I believe it plays a part in one game. And if your team has scored runs and got you back in the ball game a little bit, things are starting to go your way. It's imperative that you go out and you have a nice, quick, clean inning and get back to hitting as quick as you can. You don't want to give it up. Don't want to give that run right back. The players can feel it. down in the dugout. If you jump out to a big lead early, maybe not even a big lead, let's say just like a 2 or 3 run lead very early in a ball game, and then you do nothing for 4 or 5 innings, it's almost like you're inviting the other team to win, to make that comeback. You can feel the initiative, the momentum start to slip away from you as the game progresses, and you start waiting for something bad to happen. But last night I was talking about how important it was to just keep adding on. Don't get happy with any type of lead and start putting up a string of zeros. Keep adding on.
So Hannigan walks, and now there are runners at first and second for Cincinnati. John Russell gets on the phone and wants somebody up in the bullpen again. 2009 Pirates baseball and FSN Pittsburgh is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines is ready when you are. Go to southwest.com, grabyourbag.com. Just an update on Chris Dickerson, the center fielder who was hurt in the 3rd inning. Word from the clubhouse is a sprained left ankle. X-rays right now negative, but he'll be sent back to Cincinnati tomorrow for further evaluation.
Well, that's good news. I'm sure, though, that he will miss a little bit of time. It looked like a pretty bad sprain. He obviously was in great pain.
Chris Butchek is up and throwing. Joe Kerrigan is up and out of the Pirates dugout on the 3rd base side, and he is already at the mound talking to Jackson. Yeah, we go back to the 3rd inning. If you joined us late, you missed Chris Dickerson. Dickerson had a single and a stolen base, scored a run in the 1st inning. Then in the 3rd inning, he walked to lead off, got picked off on this play, turning his ankle into the bag. And Derek Jones held the ball on him, and as his foot came up, there he was tagged out. He had to be carried off the field. So the young outfielder, Chris Dickerson, just the latest member of the Cincinnati Reds to go into the MASH unit. 1-0 pitch, and Bailey wants this one. Jackson throws him out. A successful sacrifice bunt, putting 2 men in scoring position. Gomes down there at 3rd base. Hannigan at 2nd. And with 2 outs, the batter is Stubbs. Stubbs doubled, had a ground rule double. It bounced on the warning track in right center field and went into the bleachers.
Stubbs just 18 at bats, but he's already had a walk-off home run.
Got that off Bob Howery.
Was that his second game?
Yeah, 2nd game. Hit it off Bob Howery, who has given up 3 walk-off home runs. All 3 this year have come from rookies. Garrett Jones being one of them also. Walked off the Giants in the 14th inning. Howery was the victim. And we go back to Thursday night. Great American Ballpark. Stubbs off the foul pole. Able to get away with a walk-off home run for Stubbs. Just came up from AAA Louisville. And 0-2 the count. Jackson delivers. Pirates currently 5-0 on this homestand. They swept Milwaukee, won the first 2 against Cincinnati. 5-2 Friday, 12-2 last night. Scoring a season high 12 runs off the Reds. Moved in front of the Reds in the Central Division standings by half a game and trying to stay there, but trailing here 3-1 at the top of the 6th. That's one thing to get above them in the standings, but now you got to stay. And if the Pirates did not win today, they'd drop right back into the spot below Cincinnati by a half game. And with 3 games of the Reds coming up in Cincinnati, who knows?
We play them a ton this season left here in the last month and a half. In fact, we end the season in Cincinnati. We see a ton of these guys. See them all the time anyway. We play them in spring training constantly there in Sarasota, although that's going to change.
Cardinals, since the acquisition of Matt Holliday, have
They're
really
running away.
taken off.
Yep, they're running away with it.
Chicago, Houston, and Milwaukee jammed up in the middle. That's fouled out of play.
Earlier in the year, almost every team in our division was above 500. Now everybody but one's below.
The Cardinals' moves this year, they got Mark DeRosa from the Indians. He's helped out.
The Cubs are still one game over.
And then the move to get Matt Holliday, that has helped out immensely. And now John Smoltz. We'll see how that works out today. Stubbs hits this one to deep center, but back after it is McCutchen. He'll grab it. And that will end the Cincinnati half of the 6th inning. Steven Jackson gets through it without giving up a run. Cam. And this was game 7, 1979 in Baltimore. Omar Moreno catching the final out. Kent Tekulve throwing it and freeze it. Pops. Willie Stargell celebrating a World Series victory. Coors Light Freeze Cam brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. Joe Kerrigan visiting with Steven Jackson, talking to him about the job that he did in the top of the 6th. Well, Ryan Doumit leads things off for the Pirates. Brandon Moss and Ramon Vasquez to follow. Ball 1 from Homer Bailey. Doumit today 0 for 1 with a walk.
Still waiting for home runs. Gotta get them today. Think set up for us. Beautiful day game. Ball should be carrying decent this afternoon. Pitcher that gives up home runs.
And his name's Homer.
Yep.
And if you're facing a pitcher whose name is Homer, chances are you're going to get one.
Well, that's
kind of like facing a pitcher named Walk. You might get one.
No, I didn't walk anybody.
Might have to look that up. 2-2 now to Doumit. Let's look at Bob's tips to win presented by our friends at Rivers Casino. These were from the beginning of the telecast today.
Well, basically it all comes down to this at bat. I'm a winner. we can get to them if they hit one out. Well, no, because then we're still behind.
3-2.
And that's the whole point of the tips to win.
He might have another at bat.
You've been down to the casino yet?
You know, I have not.
I'll bet you visit there sooner than later, just to see what it's like. What do you think?
You gotta see it. Yeah, I'll go in. I haven't been in yet, though. Have you been?
No, I'm really not all that much of a gambler, but I know you're an ex-Las Vegas resident. You've probably been in one or two.
I've probably been in as many casinos as guys that you've walked.
Whoa.
Here's a ground ball toward the middle. Backhanded by Phillips, and he throws out Doman. I should say times that I've been in a casino.
Oh,
would
okay.
rival the number of guys you've walked.
Well, I figure you're going to visit this one then, at least to
That's just a matter of
check it out. Yeah, matter of time. I mean, it's next door. It's a 10-minute walk.
Yeah, that's true. Just haven't had time. Brandon Moss toward the middle. Giannis playing behind the bag, throws him out. Moss can't catch a break.
Yeah, playing him to pull.
Almost took the head of Homer Bailey clean off. And Giannis, look where he's playing.
He's playing dead pull, taking away the middle of the field, and even though that ball was smoked, right there to make the play. Does Perry Hill say positioning is range?
Yep. Positioning is range, and that's an example of it there. Good position by Giannis. He'll play behind the bag again for another left-handed hitter, Ramon Vasquez. 2 down here in the 6th. Vasquez today 0 for 2. He's flying out twice, once to right field, once to center. Here's the 0-1. I've heard a lot of good reports about Rickers, though. Probably drag you in there. They have food in there. Vasquez fouls this one away.
No, that's John, not me. Is he still out there eating? Yes, he is, isn't he?
John Wayner out in the outfield.
He's still eating away.
I think he's texting you to say, stop talking about me.
Probably.
I think he's just pausing in between the third course and dessert. And a swing and a miss, strike 3. 3 up and 3 down in the 6th inning. We'll head to inning number 7. It's 3-1 Reds. We move to the 7th inning at PNC Park. 3-1 Reds with the lead. Follow the Pirates on your iPhone and iPod Touch with MLB.com at Bat 2009. Featuring play-by-play video highlights and live audio broadcasts for Pirates. For more, you can visit Pirates.com on your iPhone or iPod Touch to purchase. A lot of the young fans going with the iPod Touch these days.
Just a thumbs down for. What are they doing out there?
John probably said no more food, and they said thumbs down to that. It's Paul Yanis, the shortstop, to face Jesse Chavez. Chavez takes over here in the 8th inning. Delivers strike 1. A lot of appearances this year. He leads the staff. And Yanis hits this one well to left, and this one will be over the head of Millage and into the seats for a ground rule double.
Yeah, that puts them in perfect shape for an insurance run with the middle of the lineup coming up. Otto, Phillips, and Roland.
Not the way Chavez wanted to begin his outing.
No, you know, leadoff doubles are not nice.
And now the 3-4 hitters on the way. Joey Votto and Brandon Phillips. Yanis, it's double number 5. He's 2 for 4 today.
Votto will at least try to move the runner. He should get out and try and hook something.
Fouls this one off.
Got out there a little too early. Kind of cued it off the end. Now, as a pitcher, you know what the hitter's trying to do. You try to use that against him. He wants to pull it. Might want to throw him something slow inside and let him pull it, but because he's way out in front, he'll pull it foul.
Line drive to center, a base hit. Now McCutcheon will gun this one right through. Yanis will hold at third. Runners at the corners and nobody out.
Much better throw. This one here is at least close to where it could be cut off. And because of that, Votto has to come to a stop. There's nobody out, so they're not going to try and score, but you still have to make the throw home. And it has to be low enough to where it could be cut if necessary. Now Votto's watching. He thinks, oh, they might cut it, so he stops. Now last time he saw the big rainbow and he went on and into second base. But that's the way they teach it right there. You got to keep it low enough so that it can be cut off to keep that guy to hit it just going down to first base.
Infield comes in, but not all the way. Phillips foul ball. They'll play for 2 in the middle. If the ball's hit sharply enough, if Yanis is on the move, we'll see if they're trying to get him at the plate or go for 2.
I've told this story before about Trench Davis, as center fielder when I got to Hawaii. Tommy Sant was always on him to try and, got to hit the cutoff man, got to hit the cutoff man, got to hit the cutoff man. Got to, keep that guy at first base, keep the double play in order. And Trench would always tell him, yeah, but if I throw the guy out, we don't need the double play. And Trench had a way of saying it that was rather entertaining also.
Always an answer.
I throw that guy out, we don't need no double play. I was always listening in and I was shaking my head.
Phillips ground ball toward the middle. Diving stop by Young. He'll get one in the middle and that's it. Held on to the ball, lost it, and he was trying to get up.
Yeah,
so that'll score a run, and it's 4-1 Cincinnati.
He had already made sure one, tagged the back. Thought about throwing the first, but even if he finds the handle, I'm not sure he's got a play over there. Nice job by Delwin.
looked like he stepped on the bag and tagged it with his glove at the same time. Oh, they may have had him there. Phillips was leaning the other way. Pretty close just outside for Rowland. Scott Rowland today has walked twice and struck out. Phillips has stolen a base. Phillips gets back.
Well, this is when teams can get real aggressive. They tend to push things when they got a lead. It'd be surprising at all to see Phillips take off.
A 3-run lead is not always safe. That's the kind of lead you can be beaten on with one swing, so wouldn't be surprised to see him take off here. Trying to get into scoring position, add a big insurance run. There's a ground ball left side. Bixler gets it, goes to second, got one there. Nice play by Brian Bixler.
And on the other side of the coin, what was Phillips doing? Bixler does do a great job to go in the hole and get one, but look at Phillips. Phillips was going in standing up. Almost busted his ankle trying to stay on the bag. The reason you slide is so you can stay on the bag.
That's a good question. You got to be wondering,
why was he going in standing up?
Did he think that ball got through or was going to go through? That's the only thing I can think of. And maybe he realized that the ball was caught at the last moment. It was too late for him to slide.
Well, if he was watching, I guess he could have thought that. But if he's watching, I mean, Bixler has that ball in his glove way before he's making his decision about sliding and standing up. Yeah, it's right in front of him. That's why I meant, what is he doing? I don't understand. So he knows right now whether Bixler's caught it or not. That was, wow.
I think he threw a shoe. Got to get his brake pads fixed.
Well, he was going in standing up and then realized that he wasn't going to be able to stay on the base by doing that. And then I don't know what he tried to do.
Vasquez takes care of Lance Nix. And that'll do it for the top of the 7th inning. It is stretch time here at PNC Park, middle of the 7th. The score, Cincinnati Those are today's Mercedes-Benz E-Class attention assists of the game. Bob walked Tim Everett. Brian Bixler gets out of the way of an inside pitch, fouls it off. 4-1 Cincinnati. Pirates need to find a way to get some runs here today. Homer Bailey, who started off struggling through the first 2 innings, but only managed to give up a couple of hits through the first 2 innings, has given up 1 run on 4 hits so far today. Kevin Hart started for the Pirates, went 5 innings, gave up 3 runs on 6 hits. Struck out 4, but threw 99 pitches through 5 innings.
Yeah, I have to kind of eat some crow. I would have, well, I pretty much said so. I would have bet anything he wasn't going to be around in the 7th inning. I thought for sure that even if he was throwing a shutout, 6, he was going to be gone, but here he is. It's the 7th, and he starts off with a strikeout. He is over 100 pitches now, but I thought he'd be over 100 pitches after 5.
Steve Pearce, the hitter.
And I thought we'd have a couple balls over the fence, too, to be honest with you.
Still time left.
Surprised by that. It's baseball. It's a tough game to predict from day to day what might happen. You know, the way the last road trip went, I mean, it was pretty messy looking. We're not playing very well. We're not playing well on defense, hitting, not pitching all that great. And then we come home and we win the first 5.
Pierce breaks his bat. An adventurous 3-1 put out there. Votto tosses to Homer Bailey covering. Bat just explodes at the handle.
Yeah, that ball hits right on the thin spot. And Bailey, he's pretty athletic. He gets over there nice and quick. It's kind of a tough play, reaching way up high, get the foot down on the back at the same time.
And first base umpire Ed Rapuano, a little tap on the back with his glove on the way by. 2 men are out for the top of the order. Andrew McCutchen.
Got to be friends with those umpires when you're pitching.
You got to get all of them to like you. I mean, did you have a long Christmas card list or something?
No.
No?
A couple of the umpires liked me. A couple of them didn't.
What about the rest of them?
Indifferent. Basically, that's kind of the way I felt. I liked a couple of them. A couple of them I didn't, and I was indifferent to the rest. They do their job, and occasionally I was able to do mine.
McCutchen takes strike 2. Well, he did it more than occasionally.
Now, the longer you're done, the better you were. And that certainly has happened in my case. Because when I was done playing, I was very mediocre. And when you get the stat sheet out, you'll see that. That's all right.
Let's keep hiding the stat sheets. That one is hauled in by Gomes. Johnny Gomes retires Andrew McCutchen.
On.
Welcome back inside PNC Park on the North Shore on a batting helmet day. Kids Day Sunday. 4-1. Cincinnati in front. And a new pitcher for the Pirates, right-hander Chris Buchek.
Buchek. See if he can keep us in this one.
He will face Johnny Gomes.
Trouble with the base on balls so far. A strike thrower in the minor leagues, but he's walked 5 in 4 innings in the Bucco uniform.
So Buchek deals to Gomes, and that's inside. Johnny Gomes made a nice play to retire Andrew McCutchen. As he dove toward the foul line and retired him. And the ball sailing away from him.
Swinging the bat pretty well in this series. He made some hard outs when he's not getting hits.
Well, you look around baseball today, Bob, and you see different stories developing as the Cardinals Padres underway out west. Pedro Martinez started today for Philadelphia. They would beat the Mets 9-7. San Francisco is in front of Colorado.
Not Pedro fair. Yeah, check that box score yet.
For whatever reason, they haven't posted it, but game just ended. So Pedro Martinez, who signed late with Philadelphia and has kept them in ball games. He's done a good job since coming out of his hiatus. And the Phillies adding Cliff Lee, and Lee's been stupendous since going to Philadelphia from Cleveland.
I didn't think Martinez would really do much for him. I saw him pitch there toward the end when he was with the Mets and thought that he was losing it. So I wasn't real sure he was going to be an asset to the Phillies. In fact, I didn't think he would be. But going after Lee, I think that was a great move by the Phils.
Well, Martinez did get the win today. Went 6 innings. Gave up 7 hits. Brad Lidge picked up his 25th save of the year. So Martinez 2-0 since signing with Philadelphia. Two balls and 2 strikes the count to Gomes. Now something happened in that game today too, Bob, that has not been seen since the Pirates and Reds played in Cincinnati in April. And that was a triple play, but it was a different kind of triple play. Eric Bruntlett joins a very exclusive club in pulling off an unassisted triple play. And it ended the game. Jeff Francoeur lined into it, and Eric Bruntlett pulled off the unassisted triple play. That is a very rare feat.
Step on a bag, tag to run.
Yep, catch, step, and tag. Troy Tulowitzki of Colorado had one of those. Also, a number of years ago, John Valentin, infielder in the American League, had one. And another Philly, Mickey Morandini, pulled one off at one point. Two balls and 2 strikes to Gomes. Buchek's pitch. This one is over the dugout on the right side and out of play.
Gomes making him work a little bit. 10 pitches now. This at bat.
He's been busy. Again, the 2-2 coming to Johnny Gomes. 3-2 now. It's home run derby in Washington today as the Nationals And Brewers are playing. Nationals with an 8-3 lead. Guzman is 6th. Zimmerman is 26th. Adam Dunn is 33rd. And Alcides Escobar got his first major league home run for the Brewers, the young shortstop. I haven't seen the lineup. I'm wondering if he was batting 9th ahead of the pitcher like he did here. Three balls and 2 strikes. And this one in the air to right.
Well, that was a battle. Kuchek won it, but boy, he had to fight for it. 13 pitches to get that one out.
Well, again, Eric Bruntlett of the Phillies pulling off an unassisted triple play today. He was playing second base, the last Philly to do it, Mickey Morandini, against the Pirates at Three Rivers Stadium on September 20th, 1992. Remember that one?
Yeah, I remember. I don't think it was really a big deal because we probably September 20th, 92, we were having probably 8 or 9 game lead going in there. I don't think.
Yeah, but
it mattered
an
much.
unassisted triple play at any time is a big deal, even if you're in last place or first place. You just don't see them very often.
Really, when you think about it, they're the easiest to get. You catch a line drive, step on the bag, and then if the runner at first decides that he's not going to go back because he's a dead out, you tag him and it's over.
Yeah, but it might be easy to execute, but getting into the situation is difficult. Vasquez will throw out Ryan Hannigan.
See, I think the most impressive triple play to watch is the round the horn triple play. When the third baseman catches a ground ball and then has to step on third, throw to second, throw to first, that for me is very impressive.
Yeah, you need 2 good throws.
Takes the longest. Yeah, that unassisted triple play is you're catching a line drive. That's about all you really are doing.
Kevin Barker will pinch hit in the 9th spot.
But I do remember Morandini doing that. I'm trying to think, maybe I had to have seen another triple play besides that. Look out.
Well, earlier this year, in April, on the 13th, the Pirates turned one. Runners were going from first and second with nobody out. And it was Wilson to Sanchez to LaRoche. That was the first triple play of the season in Major League Baseball.
I remember that because I was wondering what was going on there with, I think that was Jay Bruce was the runner that was going towards second. He could see there was a pop fly hit the short. Why he wasn't throwing on the brakes and heading back.
Ball and 2 strikes to Kevin Barker.
He ran all the way to second base.
This one down the left field line and foul. Well, Barker getting an opportunity now with the Reds. They have really had to use the Louisville shuttle. Getting players up here from AAA due to the injury situation on this ball club. Barker another one. Hitting .250 in his time with the big club. Kuchek and Barker, you would assume, had faced each other in AAA this year. Kuchek with Indianapolis, and again Barker with Louisville. Popped him up. Ryan Doma trying to find it. And he makes the catch, and Butchek gets him in order in the 8th inning. Aspen Dental, all the young kids getting their new 1979 replica batting helmets. Lots of smiles all the way around the ballpark today. There you go. Try that one on. Goes well with food. Hey, he's not 14. These are today's Hey to Smile, brought to you by our friends at Aspen Dental. Arthur Rhodes is in to pitch. Vladimir Valentin goes to right field for Cincinnati. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning, 4-1 Reds.
You see Rhodes' numbers. His opponent batting average just 197. A defensive change out in right field. Gomes, after making that great catch too, now he's out for defense. How about that?
Well, Valentin is in. And the batter is Delwyn Young, batting right-handed. Two for three. He's driven in a run, the only run.
He's still got time, but it would be nice to get at least one this inning.
A 1-1 the count. Pirates a bit stymied today by Homer Bailey. And for the 22-year-old right-hander for Cincinnati, something certainly he'd been looking forward to, a solid outing like he had today.
Let him off the hook early, and he was able to get things together and put a bunch of zeros up. That happens.
Well, Delwyn Young with an RBI single, driving in Andrew McCutchen for the game's first run for the Buccos. 1-800-SAFE-AUTO reminds you you're safe at home with Safe Auto, proudly supporting the Obadiah Cole Foundation for prostate cancer screening and awareness. Early detection is the cure. RBI single back in the 5th inning for DY. I'm not sure why he was just standing there. Are you? You know any reason why he might have been?
He was giving the catcher time. He got hit in the mask with a foul ball.
2-2.
Clearing the cobwebs out a little bit. Being a nice guy. Kind of see the umpires will do that a lot. They'll go clean the plate off if the catcher takes a hit. Hey, maybe there's a problem. I think Hannigan a little more shaken up than
they're going to call for the trainer.
Yeah.
So Mark Mann will come out of the first base dugout for Cincinnati to check on the well-being of Ryan Hanigan.
Took that shot in the mask. Right in the forehead.
Ouch.
Even right after he took it, the glove went right in the dirt. He looked like he almost fell forward. If it bothered him that much, I think I'd get somebody else out there. I mean, I wouldn't want him to stay in the game after that reaction and then get another foul tip.
Keeps blinking his eyes, and
yeah,
he's coming
after
out.
that reaction. I mean, that kind of is scary to leave him in the game then.
So Ryan Hanigan will leave after taking the foul ball square to the forehead off the mask. Now the Reds have already had a problem with one player, Scott Rowland, having post-concussion syndrome after being struck in the head by a Jason Marquis pitch a week or so ago. And now Hanigan obviously feeling the effects on the bench. They don't want to take another chance with another player.
Shane put his hand, both hands, the glove and the bare hand went right straight down into the dirt to keep himself up.
So coming in to replace Ryan Hanigan now is Craig Tatum. As Hanigan ultimately was taken over to the bench. Still being worked on. There's Craig Tatum. Delwyn Young, a 2-ball, 2-strike count, facing Arthur Rhodes here in the 8th inning. And he struck him out. Young down on strikes.
Nice job by Tatum, huh?
Boy,
good call there.
Good call on that pitch.
Yep.
He must have been paying attention today.
Yeah.
Yeah, better tighten that lace. Use your teeth, whatever you have to.
See, he was thinking there. There's his partner getting the cold water treatment on the back of the neck, it looks like. Not a hot day. Just very comfortable. Overcast, cloudy, no sun.
0-1 to Jones. Now it's 0-2. You look at the style of mask too, that goalie style mask that a lot of guys wear. I wonder how much protection is there on that forehead compared to the more traditional style mask. You see what the umpire Kevin Causey is wearing. He's got that more traditional style mask where it's all metal up on the forehead, steel bars. One, two.
I think the hockey style allows for maybe better vision. Endowment wears the traditional.
Garrett Jones hangs alive. Jones 0 for 3 today, hit into a double play in the 5th inning. Jones has driven in 6 runs over his last 2 games. Nothing here today. The 1-2. Arthur Rhodes, the veteran. He knows how to get guys out. Some help on the way. Nick Massett.
Rhodes is thinking that last pitch should have got him out. breaking ball just off the end.
Jones pops this one up back of the plate and into the seats.
You'd be thinking, how did Jones not swing at that pitch?
He thought about it.
Yeah. That worries you a little bit if you're a pitcher sometimes. You start thinking, I mean, is seeing my pitches that well to where he can take that?
2-2 is hit pretty well to right field. But Vladimir Ballantyne backs up on it, makes the grab for out number 2.
A couple balls hit decent. One hopped Phillips. Last at bat. Line drive to right.
Millage trying to do something with 2 down. Top of the order for the Reds due up in the 9th. Arthur Rhodes pitching with 2 outs to Lasting's Millage. Millage 0 for 3. Yeah, it'd be interesting to find a way to tape a pitcher's thoughts.
Well, how about wouldn't you like the pitcher and the hitter at the same time? Have a run across the bottom of your screen, what each one's thinking about. That'd just be awesome to watch a ball game like that.
You'd have to put little electrodes, wireless electrodes on the sides of their heads so they can pick up the brain thoughts. See, Bob, that's something for the guys over at Carnegie Mellon to try to develop. Maybe that's their next task.
Could sponsor it.
Two strikes to Millage, and it's 1-2.
Combine that with like maybe some, you know how the race cars, they have the in-car video.
Yeah.
Some real tiny lightweight cameras that like just are like built into the hat or the helmet, to where you can get their thoughts and what they're looking at too.
Just a man ahead of your time, Bob.
Get the base runner sneaking off, trying to peek in at the catcher, steal a sign. Does he think he has it or not?
Strike 3 called. Millage knew it. Arthur Rhodes comes in, strikes out 2, gets 3 in a row. And we will go to inning number 9. Reds with a 4-1 lead. Play against the Mets. Jason Worth for the Phillies, a 3-run home run, his 5th homer in his last 6 games. And Ryan Zimmerman for the Nationals, 2 out of 4 today. Has a 2-run shot, scored 2, driven in 3 against the Brewers. That's in case you missed it. In case you missed it, Joel Hanrahan has taken the mound. Top of the ninth inning, 4-1 Cincinnati. Game 3 of this 3-game series. Hanrahan between Washington and Pittsburgh makes his 55th appearance. He'll face Drew Stubbs, Paul Janisch, and Joey Votto. 1, 2, 3 in the Reds order. Smile. Can't see the smile with the lid down, you know.
Must have been a good picture. They're passing around.
Now she's smiling. Front of the ballpark on a Kids Day Sunday afternoon. Kids get to run the bases after the game, and a lot of fun prior to the game too.
Talk about inventions. That was the digital camera. How great of an invention is that?
That's what little brothers do.
No more film. Just take all you want.
I don't think the film companies liked it very much.
Yeah.
But I do agree. It's a great thing. And down on strikes is Stubbs. Hanrahan comes in and fans the first man he sees.
Hanrahan, very interesting guy we have on this team. Very highly regarded as a possible closer. As a closer for the USA team, wasn't he, in the World Baseball Classic?
Yeah. He was a closer for the Nationals and then struggled a bit. You got to wonder too, some of these guys who played in the WBC were trying to play at a mid-season level when it was still spring training for everybody else. And you wonder what kind of effect it has had on some players. Some players are probably good, some players not so good.
I love the concept, but I really hate the timing. I just don't understand it.
This one fouled back, 0-2 to Paul Janisch. Well, when do you think is the ideal time to do it?
Well, they'd have, in my mind, I would like to see him take a bigger All-Star break, a little bit longer, and maybe take a week off and streamline the tournament to where they could get everything done in a week and have it then. And then, you know, that what do we do? Once every 3 years, once every 2 years, something like that.
Once every 3.
Yeah, you don't have the All-Star game then, because the All-Star game's kind of lost a little bit of its luster anyway with interleague play for me. So, you know, I'm a traditionalist, but they've already messed with it enough to where, okay, let's take it to the next step.
Well, on that note, a World Baseball Classic, when you look at it, is an all-star festivity.
Well, exactly, yeah.
But of global proportions,
right.
Not just of one league.
I would love to see it. Love to see it.
And especially now with baseball out of the Olympic Games, at least for the 2012 games in summer in London, the WBC, the next one will have, I think, even more meaning.
I mean, they'd have to streamline. Like I said, I don't think they couldn't play it the way it is now with the round robins and all that stuff. It'd have to be some type of, you know, one and you're gone type tournament.
Or double elimination, maybe.
At the most,
Nobody
yeah.
do that. 2-2.
Even if they couldn't do that, even if it was just you lose once and you're out, you know, that's okay. I mean, that's NCAA does that. I mean,
yeah, but they play a full season.
See what happened. Well,
this one popped up. In other words, if you're like the Netherlands or Curacao or somebody like that, well, the Netherlands would be Curacao, beg your pardon. But if say you're the Netherlands, for example, you go through all the trouble and you play one game, and it's you have one bad inning, say, and you lose a close ball game, and you're done.
Okay, well, watch ball 4 here on the other side of that coin. How about when there's a great upset? Didn't Curacao upset somebody this year?
The Netherlands beat the Dominican Republic twice.
Right. Well, think if it was single elimination,
they wouldn't play them twice.
Right. they got a better chance of going on. And here it is. It's baseball. It's all. You get a hot pitcher, a hot starting pitcher. Anything can happen on any day. It would really, if it's a single elimination, boy, that throws a monkey wrench into things. No telling what might happen. But I mean, we're talking about crazy stuff. It's not going to happen.
Well, you could put your proposal on paper and submit it.
We might as well be talking about reading thoughts of the hitter.
Yeah, how about that? Joey Votto watches this one go away from Ryan Doman, and down to second base goes Paul Janisch. Votto was on Team USA. Yeah, going back to reading hitters and pitchers' thoughts. Let's get back into that discussion. But it would be interesting, depending on the personality of the pitcher too, and hitter.
Well, some of the thoughts might have to be edited.
Yeah, that's true. One out and the 2-0 pitch to Votto. 2-1. Pirates off tomorrow. Back at it on Tuesday against Philadelphia. Two-one pitch. And a 3-1 coming to Votto. And he gets a swinging strike, 3-2.
Power fastball, 96. Couldn't catch up with it. 3-1. He's sitting on a fastball. Knows he's going to get it. It's elevated, letter high at 96, and he can't reach it. He's a pretty good hitter, real good hitter. That tells you a little bit about Hanrahan's arm.
So full count to Votto, and the pitch. Ball 4. So Hanrahan has struck out 1 and now walked 2. First and second. Brandon Phillips, the hitter. Well, Kevin Hart started this game a long time ago. Went 5 innings through 99 pitches. Gave up 3 runs on 6 hits. Steven Jackson pitched an inning. Jesse Chavez pitched an inning. Chris Buchek had the most success with a 1-2-3-8. Now Joel Hanrahan on in the 9th, and he's walked 2 and delivers to Phillips, who swings and misses. Well, St. Louis has staked John Smoltz to a 4-0 lead early against San Diego. Smoltz making his first start and appearance with the Cardinals. They're in the second. Strike 2 to Phillips.
Good place to make your first start for the new club back National League. San Diego struggling this year. Beautiful place to pitch. Pitcher's ballpark. Definitely giving him the opportunity to get off on the right foot.
Here comes the 0-2.
And a 4-run lead to boot.
Yeah. But where Smoltz is concerned, things didn't go his way in Boston. Designated for assignment and then released.
I thought the rumors were that the Cardinals were going to put him in the bullpen. Use him in a setup type role.
Yeah. To right field and not very deep. Coming on is Moss. He's not going to get it. And the bases are now loaded, full of Reds for the first time in the ball game. That one just stayed up in the air. Moss was playing so far away against the right-handed hitting cleanup man Brandon Phillips that he had a long run to get there and just couldn't get there.
That ball seemed to be up in the air a long time. Yeah, his first couple of steps were kind of toward the corner before he came in.
He didn't celebrate all that much that time.
No. Wasn't as proud of that hit as he was of the first one.
Phillips now 2 out of 5, and here's Roland without a hit today. Reds have a chance to add on here in the 9th. Hanrahan trying to shut him down. Double play ball would cure that. Rollins walked twice, struck out once, hit into a fielder's choice. And that is a strike. They got the appeal from Ed Rapuano. He's had a couple of those indecisive swings. He had one when he struck out in the 5th inning. Kind of came halfway, a little more than halfway around.
He's seen a couple of real good breaking balls. They're a little messed up.
1 and 2.
See if he gets another breaking pitch. If they do go fastball, you would have to think they're going to try to go up high, but they didn't go up high. They just made sure they got it in off the plate. So they're going to go for a strikeout pitch. Want to elevate, keep it a little bit on the hands. Somewhere in the vicinity of that one that he threw by Votto on a 3-1 pitch.
Let's see what Hanrahan can do now. Bases loaded, 1 out. And a 1-ball, 2-strike pitch. That's inside, 2 and 2.
Denny Batista.
Batista threw well last night.
Yeah, it looks like he should be ready.
And Rollins strikes out. So a bit of a mixed bag for Joel Hanrahan this inning. 2 strikeouts, 2 walks, and a base hit. Bases will remain loaded for Lance Nix.
Yeah, Rollins really having a hard time with the hard breaking balls today. Chasing them down.
Looks like Jason Giambi's found a new home.
Where'd he get traded to?
Well, he's been picked up. Hasn't been traded. He was released by the A's earlier this month. And reportedly, the Colorado Rockies have agreed to a deal with Giambi. He'll go to AAA and then will rejoin the big club when the rosters expand on September 1st. So they don't have to clear a roster spot for him, or at least on the 25-man roster. They will on the 40. So apparently Jason Giambi.
Well, if they want him for the postseason, they got to activate him before that. If they wait till September, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe he just has to. Maybe he just has to be on the.
He's got to be on the 40 man.
In the organization or something like that.
And he'll make it by a week. So they get a veteran bat now on their bench.
Well, if they make it to the World Series, it gives them a DH too.
Yeah.
So you can understand them doing that.
2 outs, bases full. The 1-2 pitch. Good backhanded stop by Domit.
Picking out of the dirt like a first baseman.
Even count to Lance Nix. And he got him swinging. So Hanrahan makes it exciting when he strikes out the side. Last raps for the Bucks. They trail by 3 runs. Tonight, catch up on the day in sports with the final score. It's the final word on all the major sports with news, scores, and highlights from today's action. Catch the final score tonight, 10:30, right here on FSN. On the Bob walk, Tim Neverett. Bottom of the ninth inning. Pirates down by 3 runs. 4 runs on 10 hits for the Reds. 1 run on 4 hits. And Francisco Cordero comes on to try to finish things up for Cincinnati. We'll face Ryan Domet, Brandon Moss, Ramon Vasquez.
A lot of pitches thrown today in this game. Hanrahan had, I believe, 33 for the ninth.
A little bit of a delay as Drew Stubbs was over by the scoreboard. He was over by the Clemente wall for some reason. Now has run back out to his position at center. 1-0 to Domet. Strike 1. Ryan trying to find a hit. He looked like he found his stroke last night after going 3 out of 5. Hitting 300 in the series right now. Pirates trying to plate 3 to extend the game.
Gotta have base runners.
Domet to the right side. Phillips will glove it and throws out Domet 1 away.
Well, it's important to try and show a little patience at the plate in these situations. It's tough. You know, the pitcher does his job. All you're doing is putting yourself in the hole. But you're looking for base runners. You have to give the pitcher an opportunity to be wild if he's going to do it.
Moss is 0 for 3. Struck out in the first, lined out to center in the fourth, grounded out to short in the sixth. And when he struck out in the first, the bases were loaded. That was really an opportunity the Pirates had to get on the board and do some damage against Homer Bailey. 0-2 to Moss. This one to left center field. Stubbs will make the catch, and the Pirates are down to their final out today.
Well, it was a good weekend anyway, even if this is the last out. 2 out of 3. Great celebration of the last World Series team.
And the Pirates will have won 2 straight series. Got a home sweep of the Brewers.
Day off tomorrow, and then the world champions come in. Phillies.
Only chance to see the Phillies here at PNC Park this year. Anytime they come in. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Cordero knows that we're probably taking a strike. He's just pouring that first one in there. Of course, why not? 3-run lead. Nobody on. Long ball can't hurt you.
So down to the last strike. No balls, 2 strikes. 2 down, bottom of the ninth. Ramon Vasquez takes inside ball 1. Homer Bailey went 7 innings, gave up 4 hits, 1 run, walked 4. And struck out 2. Turned into a very good outing for the 22-year-old. After it looked like the Pirates were going to get to him in the first and second innings. Did manage a run in the 5th. RBI single by Delwyn Young, driving in McCutchen after he walked and stole second. 2-2. It'll stay that way as that one ping-pongs around in the Reds' dugout. Reds have a day off tomorrow. They travel to Milwaukee right after the game. They'll have an off day on the road in Milwaukee, then start a series with the Brewers on Tuesday. 2-2. And this one to left field, and Ramon Vasquez has a base hit. That'll keep it going.
It's baseball. There's no clock. Not over until it's over.
We look at the road ahead. Joe Blanton against Ross Ollendorf Tuesday night, 7 o'clock. Cole Hamels and Paul Mulholland. Wednesday, Jay Happ against Charlie Morton on Thursday. All games 7 o'clock. Pre-game coverage begins at 6:30 here on FSN, bringing the game to you.
Andy LaRoche on deck right now. Tying run. Just need one more base runner.
Brian Bixler trying to get on. Bixler today has a double. He's 1 for 3. Had a double back in the 4th inning.
A game tying home run. We play some extra innings.
Why not? We're here anyway.
It's been a quick game to this point. 3.5 hours.
Which part of the game was quick?
3.5 hour 4-1 game.
It was a quick bottom of the 8th. Strike 2 to Bixler. There's also a quick top of the 2nd. And a quick top of the 8th for that matter. Other than that, it's been some deliberate baseball today. Vasquez gets the base hit with 2 down. He's at first. Bixler, 1 ball, 2 strikes. And he strikes out, and that ends the ball game. So the Pirates will take 2 of 3 from the Cincinnati Reds.